So Aj, you are there, right? So I would like to, just take 5 minutes. I want to freshen up. मैं खाली मीटिंग चालू करने आया था. So अमरजीत जी, आज का हमारा एजेंडा ये है कि firstly we want to see how our year went. Maybe if we can get a pen and a paper. This exercise I have done again in a previous meeting, which I feel were very helpful. So if we can see our 2022, how it went, and what are the learnings from it, and then we'll see whether what we can do in 2023 later. But as a collective learning, that is what I'm proposing. कि आज का मीटिंग का एजेंडा ये रखते हैं, because अगर हम लोग टीम जैसे if we are in a company, we go back and see our year, we analyze. As freelancers we are not able to do, but when I got the opportunity to do it, I felt it was a good amount of learning. So give me 5 minutes, I'll be back. Let me freshen up and come. So Amarjit ji, I'll also request you कि आप जरा देखिए, if you take it forward. I'll be back in a 5 minute. You, as people join, maybe in a minute you can start. I'll join you in 5 minutes, if that is okay with you guys.
Come, then we'll start it. It's not an issue at all.
Okay,
because
thank you.
I not last meeting, so I don't know what are the things that discussed. So for me,
last meeting, last meeting, the video was there, but it's
you freshen up and then
ideally
come.
I tell you, maybe people who are there in the meeting, they will tell you that we were talking about specifically pricing strategy क्या है लोगों की और कैसे करना चाहिए, and all those kind of things we were discuss. That happened to be the discussion. The main discussion agenda was whether we are meeting in February. Mostly the answer was yes. Physical meeting and Goa was decided. So we will now fix on today. So there should be two things that we should be able to do today. One is whether we fix up a weekend on a Saturday, Sunday, or on a February, whether it is like first week, second week, or so on. And then maybe we could put it on a calendar and then decide कि यहाँ पर हम लोग देख लेंगे. And venue and budget, कितना budget होना चाहिए, because individually we are going to spend, right? So that is one thing that I would want to see whether we can take that discussion ahead. And secondly, learnings from 2022. ये दो चीजें हैं which I am proposing. Okay. So as people join, maybe Amarjit ji, you can take it ahead. I'll join you in 5 minutes. I hope.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. With you from my experience of running the large events and all, and if suppose we are doing this just a casual meetup, okay, then actually it will not. My experience says it will not be that much effective. We can make it as a this is just input from my side. We can make it as a
definitely.
Conference plus meetup, okay. And conference means where topics are related to the training industry, to topic related to the learning industry, challenges and all, and talks are there, and esteemed speakers are brought. That gives a very good limelight to it. It gives a good credibility to it. And then on the parallelly we'll have a trainers meetup, okay. And where in the moment we have this kind of large event, then lot many stakeholders also come, organizations also comes, and their L&D and HR people also come, as well as vendors will come. And this will be run by trainers, not by them, because a lot of other things are done. A few are there already which are running, but those are majorly done by either vendor community or somebody else, not a trainer focused one, okay. And trainer doesn't get any focus. So we do in that way. And if we had to plan that large event of at least a day, then it requires approximately 2.5 to 3 months advance planning. That's what my experience is.
Yeah.
Because building brochures, putting posters, website, registration mechanism, then getting the sponsorship. We'll have one sponsorship team from us. Okay, we'll get the sponsorship such that a lot of costs are covered, and we have a little more elaborate professional event rather than just a meeting. Okay, so this is what my inputs are, because then it will become quite impactful. Then because if you start doing this year onwards, And I'll give you guarantee within a 3 years, then everybody will within the across the India, all the organization will be knowing us. Yeah, this is a trainer's body, and it has a stature, and people will look into it whenever we say something.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what
Yes,
my
you're
input.
right.
Because, you
Correct.
do
Absolutely,
small,
Amarjit.
you do small
Good.
event or you do large event, effort and energy involved is almost that much only. Okay, we large event only thing is number of things you have to take care of, that increases, but we do with a time span of 3 months in advance.
Yeah. I
Is
I
it?
I yes, correct. You're right. What I would ask is others also to participate and talk about it. I'll just put my view on it. Um, I'm thinking that yes, you're right. I also envision to be a big event and where everybody participate. But I'm thinking since it is the first event, maybe I would not feel that since people don't know us, maybe getting sponsorship, etc., would be a challenge. And initially, there would be people who are, really serious about the community meeting. Whenever I come across, any community who just started off, initially there are only few people who meet. So I'm okay with that also, because even after we do a 2 3 months planning, if we don't have a stature to start off with, we don't know internally as well how many people are really serious. Um, uh, until that happens, we can't be big. So even if so, I'm okay. This is my perspective. I'm okay with just a fun event for trainers, and then brainstorm about how we can do it better. So we have been so Amarjit, you have been part of this community also for a very long time. We have few online meetups, and I think to continue this would be a good idea. At least we get to know people who are really serious, who come regularly. Only then, out of that, there will be a subset who will be joining for the meeting, or there would be a different kind of a community who would be interested in fun event, and then see how many people are, then they can observe people who are serious and maybe they could participate. So that's another take on it.
Yeah.
Um, I'm
So
open to
I'll,
discussions.
and yeah, I'll share you, Vishal, my input on, based on whatever you have now shared it. I agree the sponsorship will be a challenge, but it's not that much big challenge. One.
Yeah.
Secondly, about the meeting as a trainer and doing the fun event, then a lot of objective changes with that. I'll just give you example. Our alumni meetings also happens. I come from one of the best institute, and when there also similar kind of things are there. People come for let's have a gathering, family gathering, and all. And majorly actually, then whole of the year actually events are around that only. Okay, and there is not much seriousness comes for a very large undertaking or large serious project and all. Okay, in COVID time we donated in our campus 300 laptops, for needy students, and but other than that, it becomes really challenging. But now things are starting moving. But I'm telling you what my experience is. When we did that part 301, then after that, our credibility was totally different.
Mm,
First project always takes a time. First project always takes a time. Even first conference, what we'll do take time. It's not that we should do very elaborate one. Just one day event. One day is not a whole day conference. Means we can have a 2 3 talks. That's it. One hour or
yeah.
45 minutes with a keynote speaker. Just with 3 talks. That's it. And 3 talks is
Okay.
not a challenge at all. One hall booking is not a challenge at all. And in Goa or wherever we do it, one hall doesn't cost that much as other things
Yeah.
cost basically. So we'll start with a formal event. Then
Okay.
post lunch, after lunch we'll have informal one, whatever whichever way we want. Our trainers meet up and then other games or whichever. And the next day also we can extend it. We'll start with formal. Then
I understand. I understand. That's a fair point. I believe that that's the right way to take it. You're
that's
right.
now. And now question is comes the question, third point which you raised, if the people are going to be serious about it or not. See, you set up the tone and agenda accordingly, that kind of people will join with you.
Okay.
That's what my experience is. Okay, start moving. So if you do the serious on a very serious note, and we are setting the half day agenda for that with two or three talks. Then after that, very important formal meeting with a 2 hours meeting or whatever, then lunch break, and then after that everything casual. Then automatically, at least 8 or 10 dedicated people will get it. Already in our group there are 100 people are there. Out of them, getting 8 or 10 dedicated people will become breakthrough for us, and then these people can change the things, and year on year it will keep on growing. Then it will become full day formal, then 2 days event, and then 3 days event. Okay, in which 2 days we do formal, one Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday is full fun event and all. Okay, so then it will become a large, as it will grow organically, slowly. But I think first day itself, first events itself, we should have a formalism part in that. That's what my
Okay, perfect,
because,
perfect. I think you're right. Others can participate. I'll just formally welcome each and everybody. Siddhesh, hi, good morning. Prem, Kuldeep, Samatha, Alpesh, Rohit, Sulakshana, thank you for joining us. Uh, Thank
Yeah,
you
hi,
all.
good morning.
Morning, Alpesh. How was your cycling session today? Did you go there or not?
It was a marathon. It was a marathon by a decathlon, and they said it was 5 kilometers, but eventually it turned out to be 10 kilometers.
So 5
So,
kilometer
but
one way,
somehow
right?
yeah, yeah,
So it is over.
yeah, it is over. I
Are you
just came
still
back.
there or have come back?
No, I have come back at home.
Okay. Hi Siddhesh, how are you doing?
Hey, hi Vishal, good morning. I couldn't attend the
Morning.
last session, but thought of
Okay.
making sure that I join this one because
Thank
I
you.
feel
Thank you for
that
joining.
as I iterated on the group, that we must have some kind of a union to make sure that, because as a
That's why we
trainers,
are meeting. That's
yeah.
why we are meeting.
Because a couple of points that I wanted to make. So if we can, I'll just introduce myself. I'm Siddhesh Prabhugaonkar, and I'm based in Goa. And I just saw that you
Oh,
are also
you
planning.
are the host for our meeting. We have found our Amarjit.
For sponsor, not sponsor.
Yes, Siddhesh, continue, please. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer, and I generally take .NET Full Stack and Azure trainings. And from technical perspective, from learning perspective, it's not a big challenge that I have spoken to other trainers. But regarding payment, many had issues in the past, still have. And one of the way to tackle this is that I have found effective with vendors is upfront we should be informing them that if the payment is not made in time, then we can send an email or involve labor commissioner of that area. Plus we can also raise a complaint formally on income tax department if the tds is not paid. And one more clause that I generally put in the POC is, if the payment is not paid within time, then the vendor, either you can ask for PDC, that is a sure short way. Secondly, you can add a point saying that for additional delay, maybe you can charge 1,000 rupees per day or 500 rupees per day, whatever you feel is comfortable. So these are some of the ways that I have used in the past, and I have also uh, informed this to other vendors informally, and they are then able to get the payment somehow. So this is a big challenge that I see from across the technologies, whoever the trainer is working with across the vendors and so on.
Absolutely. Siddhesh, you are right on. And I think these kind of things we keep on discussing regularly on our grievances group. I hope you are part of the grievances group,
Yes, yes,
Siddhesh.
I am. Yes, yes.
Yes. So we are going forward for it, and Amarjit also had some good ideas about how to formally create an organization last. And the first meeting that we did for this club, so we called the first meeting as the club meeting, The second meeting was generally just a fun discussion meeting, but I think I'll continue with that club thing because when we talk about a group of people, we really need to have an identity. Like you rightly said, union. But as far as I know, the union system, the word union, you cannot really be using in India. So am I right, Amarjit? Union is
It's not that you can't use it. The issue is it has a baggage. Then that leftist mindset and all those things. We are in a we are running a commercial. Everybody is doing for a commercial stuff, right? And unions are has a huge backlog, is huge history. So then people associate with that. Rather than that, we can have a term like consortium, okay, or similar kind of term which are very neutral in nature,
yeah.
and we'll not use the union term in our name for sure, but as a consortium you can say that, or like IEEE standard bodies there, it's on similar pattern. It's a standardization body. We'll act as a standardization body where the trainers are also acting according to the code of conduct, and the companies as well as the vendor or anybody is involved. Fair, yeah.
Like you were mentioning IEEE last time. Were you mentioning IEEE?
IEEE, yes, IEEE.
So what
So
is IEEE?
IEEE is Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. Is one of the topmost body across the globe where a lot of scientists, engineers, and stakeholders are involved, and they design these standards like whatever the tube light or bulb you buy, and they fit in different same similar kind of socket from the different vendors. If you remember, the CFL, initially CFL came, and every CFL has its own holder and everything, right? Then the cost of product increases, and you bought the CFL goes, everything holder also you have to dump it, okay? Then you bring now everything is following the same standard, right? So this standardization body actually take up the role in terms of talking with a lot of governments, research agencies, as well as organizations, and wonderful scientists and engineers across the companies are also part of it. So that you can become member of it, and you become member of the standardization panel also. If you are really that innovative, you can contribute a standard level also. So, but its impact is very deep. IEEE and similarly ACM is there. Similarly other even civil engineering and mechanical engineering also, there are a lot of other bodies are there. So they work across globe. Across globe, they are not. They are apolitical in nature. It's part of their charter. They're apolitical. Okay, they are not biased towards anything. They are in favor of everybody and says that ecosystem evolve. The ecosystem evolve and everybody benefits out of it, and that's our objective also, right? Okay, so what are the yeah, please.
So I just wanted to check. Since I don't know about it, is it a body by the engineers or is it how is it? Is it governed? What is it?
It started with engineers, and as the name says, Institute of Engineer, Electronic and Electrical Engineers. But it has all members. Scientists are also there, yeah, and government bodies. They're represented, like people who are working in different government agencies. Because research, IEEE runs a lot of journals, and people publish the papers. They come in their conferences. They become, they're distinguished scientists. Okay, so IEEE has a lot of awards and designations about it. Same way, company bodies are also there. Like IEEE has a standard for 3G and all, right? Other standards. What they do, they bring every stakeholder on the same platform. Say, okay,
Understand.
they talk with the company also. Please send you people who work in network domain. Bring your standard. You send your best guys as a part of standard committee. Okay, and they sit together and they discuss what are the future available. These people are actually what they are agnostic of any companies. It benefits everybody in the long run, right? So you know that companies have their own biases. Everybody want to compete in the business, but if they work with the standards, then a lot of things work. So you become part of the ecosystem basically.
So it's an
And
association of people, is it?
yeah,
Association. What is the organization structure? You have
yeah,
any idea
yeah.
on that?
Organization structure I'll share with you is beautiful one. It's a really beautiful and elegant one. I'll share you that detail. And on that model, we can model our own. I'll share you the
We can
detail.
use that.
I'm active part of it. Okay. So, and
Perfect.
there, like, it's simple. It's like, first is regular meetings are there, conferences are there. You can go to the talks and all, and very high quality talks. It's not like a ordinary kind of stuff. Really awesome, best engineer, best scientist comes and these people give the talk. Nothing like a marketing kind of stuff, which corporate world does it. Huh? And then from there only, somebody, like example, I was involved with designing a standard for keyboard, software keyboard. In our phone there is a keyboard comes, right, and every company has their own keyboard, right? But if you take the hardware keyboard, those are following the particular layout and all. The moment standards are there, then every hardware manufacturer manufacture with that, and then you have a, that how to deal with that part. So that part came, why? Because that we were doing something else in IEEE, and IEEE over here, where the Bangalore center head was there. And he said, Ki Amarjit, we have a one requirement coming to our plate that, some people are interested ki Indic languages. Idea came from there. Indian languages should also become part of the keyboard. Okay, software keyboard. And but there is no standard for that, how the which character should go where and all. Okay, then what will happen? That every phone manufacturer in their own, and they create the software in their way, then it becomes a huge learning curve for everybody. And because of that, adoption of Indic languages or Indic keyboard, Indic typing is not happening. Okay, so that was a basically task, right? And so then, two companies already worked on it. They designed something related to that, and we talked with them. Would you like to become part of the standard? Would you like to contribute in it? Because this was a new idea, nobody has doing it, and that person was interested in it. Then we brought the stakeholders, and then work started. Though that never work got finished, that never became part of it never became a standard as such. But this is how things works. Okay, and when the standard committee, like something is becomes very concrete, it's like the way we are meeting 10 people, same the standard committee will meet, and then move regularly meet, and they publish the standard, and then they talk with stakeholder. Would you like to, adopt it? Then they say, no, we can't adopt. There is a challenge. And then why not you send your stakeholder, tell your challenges, whatever is, they will improve on it. Then everybody participate in it, and then becomes a part of culture. So this
I
is
think
what
it is a very good structure, nice
yeah,
structure.
very yeah.
I like it.
So this will actually we should focus on, because we have only this much time. Like last year we decided we will do it, but last year for me also it was very hectic. Till Christmas holiday also I'm working this time. Yeah, this is never happened actually. Isn't it? December number was very light all the time, but this time it is because of COVID impact. What of the backlog is that is we are entering to it. I think next year it will stabilize, and will my just only input is let's focus on this standardization part. Then around that we'll all sink in actually, right? Trainer also conform to the standard, companies also conform to the standard, and the vendors also, right? And these standard can be on various level: training content, quality of that, assessment of the trainer, trainees and all, and even the payment is one, and if there is a some quality of service is not met in any of stakeholder, by any of the stakeholder, how the things to be taken up, what are the cost involved with that, what the cut is involved, and so, right? So if these things become part of the standardization, slowly every vendor does it. A lot of things we can't do it, because after all it's a commercial activity. Every trainer charge in their own way and whatever is there, but few things can be bare minimal. Ki this much you can't, means it should not become exploitation. The challenge is right now people are thinking that exploitation is there. So we can put up a bare minimum, like minimum wages, right? The way Indian government works, right? Same way, this is the minimum. Actually, you have to cater to it. You can't take it as a fully for granted everything. Somebody's time, somebody's energy, somebody's effort. You can't take fully for granted. Yeah. So that much we can make it standard. Then after that, as the standards are there, then we have our stakeholder, image, bigger image and all. People will notice that the moment we say this is not wrong, this is not a good idea, this is wrong, then they will not actually do the wrong thing. People are afraid of that, afraid of their image.
I think this is a very good idea, standardization. So I would just add a few things here. Maybe we could start with standardization of maybe feedback and trainer certification or trainer ratings. This could be
These are the two things. Trainer rating and feedback. This is actually you are perfectly right. But certification is long term, because it is really a full fledged exercise. It's a full fledged involving one where we have to have a subject matter expert and they are preparing it, and that automatically happen. Evolution will happen due course of the time. That will automatically happen.
I think this is one point that we should pick up. That could be one of the good agendas wherein, since it is a trainers community, we would want to agree on a standard. So if somebody says, I have a 10-point scale, somebody says I have a 5-point scale, somebody would have a odd 7-point scale. So instead, we should understand what are we being judged on. because every organization judges a trainer in a different way because they
Yeah.
have their own internal
Yeah.
understanding of.
But you're right, and those questionnaires are sometimes so vague that you can apply it in anywhere, and you don't get a very concrete and objective feedback.
Yeah, sometimes I have seen the way it is arranged also is different. So somewhere, let's say if it's a 10-point scale, I see 10 at the right hand side. Somewhere I see extremely good at the right hand side. So
Yeah.
if somebody is used to creating a 10, how this works, right? So most of the time people are tired. They want to get it over with, and they will just choose the last one. Okay, this is the best one, or the previous to the next one. But if they don't read the scale, it
Yeah.
would mean it is the worst, or less than worst. So some kind of standards that could be somebody saying something.
Yeah, Vishal, I would like to tell you one funny thing. Is like first thing I've seen in many of the even companies and the participants is you have to really explain them that you have to grade me and not rank me. Okay, I'll tell you in one of the training, after the training, I was collecting a feedback and somebody rated me 1. So 1 means obviously on a scale of 5, 1 being the lowest. So I was kind of interested to know that where I went wrong. And I asked the participant, I mean, were you looking something different? And he said, no, I have rated you topmost. I say with the 1, I am the lowest. You are ranking me, not grading me. So this is a one issue. Sometimes what you said is true. It's like you have to make the people understand that you are grading somebody and you are not deciding a rank of somebody. There's a difference between these two.
Yeah, and not only even that, you see, even I seen it, the person who had not done any contribution in the training, sitting idle at the back, not even doing the hard work, and not even asking any question, not answering any question, and that end up giving a rating of 1 and 2. Okay, and there is no feedback from the trainer. So some companies takes the feedback from the trainer. I tell you, some of the companies which I dealt, Amarjit, we want you trainer should also give the feedback about the participants, and that's a qualitative feedback. I generally, which is a abstracting thinking, who thinks deeper, who is a good production wise, who has attitude issues and all, who has a learning, who is not committing into it, who is not disciplined, was not coming in the training time and then creating the rucksack here and there. So but those clients are very few, and countable on just hardly 4 5, but rest doesn't do it. And if we bring the standardization, we say that both sides you have to take the feedback, otherwise it doesn't work, because
That's a very good point.
yeah,
I agree.
then
I agree.
and
In fact, to add on to that, I'm sure you are going to complete. But sorry to interrupt, because
yeah,
I like the idea so much. And in fact, I was also thinking on the same line, so that it should be like a 360-degree feedback, not just for the um, your students, the participants, but how was the company or how was the vendor? So that way we will have a 360-degree kind of a thing, because time and again we keep asking how is this vendor, and nobody responds.
yeah,
People will only respond when they have problem with, or they want to, you get it, right, what I'm saying. If you go through our grievances group, people ask and hardly one or two people respond saying that yes, I've worked with them, or no, I've not worked with them. I don't know about them whether, but they are good, they are bad. But there are a few, and we just go by the few examples. Alpesh, let me just complete. And then
Yeah, yeah.
there were companies. Then there are companies who vendors say that they have some internal issues. They don't pay on time, or you know their system, the structure is such that unless you hot their pockets, until you do that, they don't work. So we have to also, as an organization body, as a fraternity, we should be trying to identify and exclude them. Maybe not uh, explicitly say that we will not work with you, but internally we should have some structure saying that check before you do this. Yes, Alpesh.
Yeah, so I was having an idea here. It's like many times the reason why I mean, that's the one of the thing that I can think of is that why the people either do not respond. The reason might be they have not heard. Like many of the time when I see the people asking for the feedback on the trainers grievance, i have not I have not heard the name of that company itself. Maybe it's a first time for me, and I'll tell you the reason why. uh, I don't know to what degree I'm right on that, but there are many vendors, I'm 100% sure what they do is that they kind of go bad. I mean, they kind of default a lot of trainers payment and all, you know, and then they eventually the things come out, and they know that the name is turning out to be bad and all, and suddenly you will find that they will close down their office, or that organization is now closed, and with some new name, almost with the same team and all, they've opened up a new company. I'm sure the people, those who are regular, they have. I mean, in the grievance group, we have discussed this also. Okay, so they come up with the new things and all. This is one aspect. Second aspect is that every day, if you see, even on the posting part, there are new and new companies are coming up. Now we don't know whether they are really I mean genuine companies, or they are just the trainers till yesterday, and suddenly today they have declared themselves as a training company and all, without knowing the responsibilities or the seriousness about when you hire a trainer, what happens and all, you know. So these are the two things that I normally I see, uh, that why the people don't respond. There is a one more small thing that also I would like to add, and then I would probably ask Sulakshana to speak and all, is that many times for some companies, for some trainers, it's really good. Like if you see the feedback, it's really good, and the
IIHT.
others say that it's a worst. I tell you, eh? IIHT. I'll tell you how probably again I kind of go back and think how it works is like these are the companies, they get a one pattern of trainings very regularly. Okay, it's like let's say for C++ or anything, they are getting very regularly. So what they will do is that they will have their very regular trainer, or the very seasoned trainer whom even the client likes it most, and client prefers. They will keep giving the training, and because they know that these trainings keep repeating, they don't stop their payment, you know. So that is the one
They
pattern
keep them
I have
happy.
seen. I'll tell you one thing.
They keep them
Sorry.
happy.
They keep them happy. I'll tell you, one of the company, I don't want to name it here, but the company is very bad. But one of the trainer I met in Bangalore, and I was asking him for what company you work for and all. So he gave me the name of the same company, and he said, and I said, do they pay very well? He says, yeah, I get the payment before the due date. I say, wow, this is really great. So probably yes, this is this is the kind of situation that are prevailing uh, in this. Yes, sorry, Sulakshana, please go ahead.
Yes, Selection. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So actually, the thing is, just one moment. I'm just starting my camera.
No
Hmm.
problem. So I see a few chats. Prem is written about trainersindia.com. We will talk about that. We'll see what is it. If you have experience with it, we can see that also. Selection, that's okay if you are. We don't mind if you feel that it's not okay to start the camera. You can use just audio also.
Disconnected. Some problem with the camera. When I'm starting, it
Oh, that's
goes
okay.
off. Okay.
No problem.
So
That's fine.
yeah, thank you. So first of all, I could not join the last meeting. I saw the YouTube recording of it and thought like I surely should join it, and so join today. I have a couple of friends also whom I know regularly over here. Uh, just wanted to add up one point. I know a couple of vendors, and I know a couple of their coordinators, what we say, who change companies every 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, as per their wish. If I, when we get a call, we feel that he is in the same vendor. He is with the same vendor whom we know. After the mail comes for the content, then we come to know, okay, now he has changed the vendor. Okay, now for that vendor, there are some vendors in the market whom we hear for the first time their names also. We know the coordinator, so sometimes we feel okay, we can go ahead. But then the coordinator also has joined newly. He also doesn't know the vendor problems or
Very
whatever
good.
the vendor is in the market today. And then once we work with them, we are held up with the payment. If it is a good company, like no issues. But sometimes it really happens that you didn't know the vendor, but you knew the coordinator. The coordinator said, "Arey, we have worked so many times together, no problem. I will take care of everything." We work with that company, is held up like he said, "I have done everything, ma'am, but we can't help because there are some problems here. See, I'm also leaving. I did not also get my payment and all." So he tells everything. So that also, like sometimes it happens, really happens that we really know the coordinator well. That is not a problem. But the vendor he works for, we don't know. And then we eventually end up with problems. So this is one more point. Like today, like every other door, there is a vendor in Bangalore kind of thing
Bangalore
has
seems to be
emerged.
the hot space
Yeah,
where there are a lot of companies who are
correct.
starting up with, and
Hyderabad,
I think
yeah. Hyderabad and Bangalore is like every other day you will find, okay, I'm from Hyderabad. Where from Hyderabad? Whom have you worked? They will not tell anything. We can't disclose these things. Once we do the
oh,
client call, let's see. So
okay, okay.
likewise, they say.
I'll just name drop a few, although we should not be doing it, but if I remember a few years back, there was this big scam, I would say it was. There was a person called Yogdasan. Are you guys
Okay.
aware of Yogdasan? Yeah,
No.
Alpesh was there, right? So he was again
Yeah,
some trainer
I think
himself,
so.
and yeah,
Even I was there,
Yog,
Vishal.
you are there, right? Pradeep, hi, Pradeep, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys? Sorry, I hopped in without any prior notice. I
No
updated
problem.
Vishal last time that I'm not in country, by the way.
Yeah.
So just saw the message, so I thought I'm. Luckily, I'm free, so I just hopped in.
Thank you, Pradeep. It's very nice to see you. So, unless we discuss like these, we don't know. Yog Dasan was a big scam. And there was one more person, I forget the name. So they had done a
Gopi,
maybe if it was
Gopinath.
not really big number, right?
Another name is like a Gopi.
Gopinathan.
Look, Gopinath from
Gopi,
Bangalore.
yeah,
Yeah.
another person is
ATPL,
Gopinath.
ATPL.
Yeah. So if I'm not wrong, it was at least more around 25 to 50 lakh rupees that they are not paid. Am I right?
Yeah.
Around that number.
Yes.
Maybe a crore also. We don't know. So that is what we come to know. So yeah, that's good that we are sharing, and this is a good platform to share. So yeah, thank you. So Sulakshana, right? Who was speaking? Sulakshana, maybe a little
Yeah,
background on you.
yeah. I'm basically based on Pune, and I'm a .NET trainer, .NET full stack trainer. I am into training industry since 20 plus years now. I was into retail
Wow.
for a long time, and plus 11 plus years almost I'm into corporate now. And due to some personal issues, I don't take lateral training so much. I do take induction more. So that's the thing, and I do travel pan India, so I know multiple people, but I work with very few vendors, and sometimes I really think whether I should increase the reach or that's fine. Whatever I'm working with, vendors, 3 4 vendors, 5 vendors, whatever we work with, I think we should have what we say, um, group where
How the
names
Gita
of the
Makaranta.
vendors when we come to know newly, we should just add it to that list one by one, so that if someone crosses that company again, then we can rethink on it as to how we could deal with it. So that was
Okay.
one point that I wanted to discuss.
Thank you. Thank you. So
Yes.
Sulakshana, to add to that, you know, since this is like a self service that everybody is doing.
Correct.
Doing it promptly is it's not very how do I put it? Uh, it's
No,
I
no,
would
no.
not say
We
it is
should
not
take
very
it
convenient.
informally only. No, no. We'll do informally only, but we
No,
should
what I'm saying
intimate
is,
each other's.
yeah, what I'm saying is, Sulakshana, let me just interrupt you there. Sorry for that.
Sorry, sorry,
Uh,
sorry. Yeah.
we have this groups so for so many years. There were many initiatives from by many people.
Hmm.
Uh, and what happens is when we talk about this good list, bad list,
Correct.
everybody would have their own list. So some in there,
Hmm.
somebody like Pradeep was saying, right? Pradeep is here. So Pradeep was saying that in his list he is good, in that list he is bad. So how do we really know who's good or bad? One good incident that could put him in. So it's very debatable, debatable. So unless we have a standard like uh, uh, Amarjit was saying that unless we have standards, how do we know what is good, what is bad? It is all it's all relative.
Correct.
So
Hmm.
yeah, maybe. But what I would strongly say is that yeah, Pradeep, you want to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing. So what happens over here is typically so one good thing what I have seen in these years is that after this group has been made, there are many vendors who have started improving their payment part. Just let me give you one recent example. So team leads, I used to hear they are not good paymasters earlier, but I recently went ahead and worked with them based on whatever inputs I got, and I got my payment on time. So one good thing is that yeah, people are improving based on the feedback, but then unfortunately there are still there so many trainers who are available who will go ahead and work with many known vendors who don't do the payments on time, and that's how those vendors keep going on and on and on. uh, if not me, tomorrow you'll start, they'll find someone else, someone or the other will always be available. Whether they burn their fingers later on or they get the payment, that's a different thing. But it's kind of till the time everyone comes on one particular plate, I would say things are not going to improve. I mean, today I say a no and someone else goes ahead and picks up the same training, it's of no use. And that's the biggest challenge what we have today with the trainers. And you cannot blame the trainers because uh, a person who's not getting something, he might go ahead with these kind of vendors also. Unless and until my plate is full, I will deny a particular trainer, a vendor, that I don't want to work with you. But that I can do only when I see that yeah, my plate is full, I don't need to take this particular chance. But a person who is not having enough trainings, that person will always go ahead and say yes to any of the vendors. How do you solve that?
And
This is
Absolutely,
one of the biggest challenges. From the beginning we are seeing this.
absolutely right, absolutely right. So Pradeep, I'll just add a few things here. So firstly, um, no one person or no maybe 2-3%, maybe a group of people, we may not be able to solve this problem, but we will have to start somewhere. So like we have
That's right.
started, and I think like what you said, um, uh, when these at least the grievances group started, when it started, rightly what you said is correct. Many vendors realize that there is a group of people who talk about us and they will not work with us. So unless we talk, unless we are, if we, I'm not saying we should come together, we meet, but at least we talk regularly.
Oh yeah, I agree on that, and that is what I miss saying. That with the experience of this group, it makes sense that at least let's start and create a particular community. People will keep on joining.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe it might take some time, but yes, at least if we have all the good trainers coming together, I think our purpose will get solved.
And it will take time.
Yeah.
It's, Rome was not built in a day. And we have to start. So what happens is, uh, people think, I think koi to start karega. somebody would see koi to start karega and nobody starts. So even I'll just give you, my perspective. Why am I doing this? Am I charging? Am I getting anything out of it? आज ये pack लेके बैठा हूँ. Why? Because I feel that there is something good which is happening, and if just for 1% people are not going to meet, then it is the momentum is lost. I don't want that to happen. So I'm very I'm very keen that we should come together. Just अगर मैं ऐसा सोचूं मैं मेरा देखूं तू तेरा देख, then it's not going to happen. So it's not. Thank you.
Then the
Uh,
vendors,
it, it's
then
it's
the
not about.
vendors
It's
will
not
always
about.
be the victim.
So no, 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 no. See. I'm not. See. Let me just be very clear. I'm not. I'm not being very generous that मैं यहाँ पे आया. I'm being very selfish, to be very honest. I'm being very selfish because when I know that if I keep on to, if I hold on to your hand and you hold on to my hand, then nobody will fall, including myself. I will not fail. So if I am coming to this meeting, it is not because I am doing a great service to you. It's not at all. I am just doing a service to myself being here, and everybody in here is the same way. Okay, so nobody is saying that अरे विशाल तूने ये group start किया.
Yes,
There is
yes.
there is there is always there is always some thought behind it. ये मेरा selfish reason है that people should come and join and then discuss. My selfish reason was that when I wanted to join a group, that person was asking for money, and I said, what is the value add that he is doing to start a WhatsApp group? How difficult it is to start a WhatsApp group? But then I realized that it is difficult to maintain it. That's a different story, but that's okay. Yeah, so yeah, we should what maybe we are at 10:30, around 10:30. So I'll just try to go through everybody in here. If somebody wants to add something, I'll just have the closing word at the end. People who want to add. Prem, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, regarding the good list and bad list, I am the guy who is giving the training from the IIST last 10 plus years. IIST is the top one in the bad list. As an example, as an Alpesh is talking, but I never faced any challenge with the collecting the money from the IIST. Even though I may be doing one or two batches in an annum, I am doing it not very regularly, like every month. I may do very rarely for a one or two in a year. But last 10 plus years, I am doing with the business with the IHT. I got the payments prompt. Maybe the 5 days or 10 days, a small delays may be there hiccups, but never it's got more than the 2 months delay. Like they are playing in such a way, they see the trainer is on demand, and they are sure they cannot get any other trainer with the same technology. They're keeping those trainers. They mark something, they're keeping it, and those trainers they're paying promptly. And they think that technology, if they can get another trainer, they can get it. They're doing the playing like that. But they never played with me. IHT is the number one as a bad vendor. It is in the list, but they never tried doing the payment delay in my case. And I have seen one more like a site like the trainer site. When I have seen it, as you told, they are trying commercially also. They are trying it the membership and all those. But activities which they have planned are very good, and are given in the chart window also. But their activity, the planning and all things are good, but they're trying to do commercially. But if you go to the site and if you see it is useful for our community, you think of it. There's a link I
Sure.
shared in the chart window.
Thank you, Pradeep.
So yeah, so coming back to the IIST thing, you might be right, whatever you said, but the thing which goes on with, especially with IIST, whatever I have heard is that they have got so many centers, and few centers definitely delay and don't give the payments. Few centers give. So this is a mixed kind of a review, especially for IIST. Certain centers, there are specifically people mention the names and every manager's name and all those people's name, that these guys don't pay, whereas some other centers, they say that the guy paid properly. So again, the whole input is based on not one trainer. One trainer can have a problem with any of the vendors. But then when there are multiple trainers complaining the same thing about IIST, then it goes into a bad list, isn't it? That's what I personally feel. I mean, I can tomorrow
Correct, correct.
stand up and say that a particular vendor is not a great vendor. Just because I didn't get my payment on time doesn't make that vendor a bad vendor.
Bad.
It can be anything because traders don't tell their side of the story. They never tell you that the feedback went wrong, or the second day the training got cancelled, or I was given the input but I couldn't deliver. They never tell you that. This is also a hard fact.
Absolutely, absolutely. Alpesh, you want to say something? Maybe we'll close
Yeah,
in 2 minutes.
one quick addition. Yeah. One quick point to add regarding the vendors. There are many vendors who operate like a chit fund companies in India. What they'll do, I'll tell you, is that the first training they will give you prompt payment, maybe before the due date also. Second training they'll give you still before the due date. Third training they'll give you a payment on the due date. And then what they will do is that they'll give you suddenly in a week's time they will give you 3 or 4 training, you know. So already your 1.5 lakhs or 2 lakhs are been pending, and then they will start delaying, they will stop taking your calls and all. And when you start telling them that I'm going to publish your name or anything, what they'll say is that we are going to blacklist you and stuff like that, you know. So this is, as a trainer, we also should remember that, and taking the clue from this, it's like I have made a rule, is almost with these kind of trainers, is these kind of vendors, is that you pay me the previous trainings amount, then only I'm going to accept the next assignment. Of course, I don't know whether it is possible for the others also or not, but just be careful when suddenly the vendor is giving you in a stretch of say 15 days or 2 3 weeks, when they are giving you back to back trainings. I mean, yes, it's a good news. It's a more business, but also just your indicator should also go on, like, you know. So,
Thank you, Alpesh. Thank you.
I mean,
Pradeep,
Vishal,
you want to add
Vishal is
something?
already knowing.
Yeah, thank you, Alpesh. Pradeep, you want to say something?
No. I don't want to say anything. I was just thinking about. So I was thinking about myself that I don't know. Someone was mentioning that you should be working with new vendors. Yes, definitely. But I was thinking from my point of view. I work mainly with two vendors, and my whole month is gone. I mean, these two vendors I've been working from last, I would say, 3 years definitely, but one vendor I've been working for 10 years almost. So where does I mean I'm trying to understand that, yeah, once in a while I do go ahead and give to work with new vendors. Now there are benefits of both the things. One is I'm continuously occupied with these two vendors, so I don't look out for any other vendor. The drawback is if these two vendors go away, then I'll have to start looking out for a job kind of a thing. So both pros and cons are there, but touch wood, till now everything is going fine. So the question comes is, how do other traders get into these new trading vendors? That's what I'm trying to understand. uh, is it like you go ahead and get the opportunity, take up the opportunity at every whenever someone approaches you, or I mean, like what, how does it work? Because I normally, once in a while, I definitely work with them, but not always. uh, I mean, 2 3 4 months, maybe a new vendor coming into picture, or maybe a different vendor. I won't say a new vendor, but I mean, I see so many people going ahead and checking out how is this vendor, that vendor. Agreed, it's a good thing, but then I mean, there are so many good vendors available. Like we have a list of at least 10 15 vendors. They are pretty good, and if you just work with them, they'll give you enough work for the whole month. You don't need to look out for those vendors who are dicey.
Good point. Good point. Thank you, Pradeep. I think we are 2 minutes above the time. I would like to stick to the time so that we know that when we are in the meeting, we'll be there from 9:30 to 10:30. So good So what I will do is I'll just make the closing statement. If somebody wants to add a few things, uh, maybe we'll take few minutes, but I'm just declaring that the meeting will be closing in some time. Please do join next time as well so that we can take this ahead. Uh, the agenda, although we decide something and we talk about something, that's okay. Unless we set some context, people will not start talking. So that's why I put some context to it. My context today was what are your learnings from the last year? I think we can take this as learnings as well. Yes, Siddhesh, we will. I intend to do this every Sunday. We would want to continue on this. Um, so is morning times okay for all? Because the first meeting we did was at 3:30 or so. The second meeting, I thought, let's go get it over in the morning so that in the afternoon we can get on with our Sunday. So what is your guys opinion? Is mornings okay? Works with you? First of all, do you think this meeting regularly makes sense? Maybe thumbs up, yes, in the chat would do. Just use it,
Yeah.
put it
Yes,
in the chat.
yes. Of course, of
Yes.
Put it in the
course.
chat.
This
Just put it in
works.
the chat. Put it in the chat. What time?
To call out that
Well,
this, yeah, this would be the best time, because then everyone is in the weekend mode.
yeah,
And
yeah,
everyone will get busy with their whatever they want to do. So
mornings.
yeah.
Right. So good thing then let's continue next Sunday again 9:30. 9:30 will be fine with everybody. I would just like to see if somebody has to add. Rohit, you were not able to speak today. So Rohit, you want to say something? Rohit Agrawal. I
Yeah,
know that
I'm
Kuldeep,
right here. Yeah, I'm okay with the morning timings, no problem. And it was a
you want
good
to add something for
discussion
today.
today also. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So
So I think
I guess we
Kuldeep,
got a particular one point for the next meeting, that whether we should be adding different vendors. I will say not new vendors, as Pradeep ji rightly said, different vendors, and how to get started with them. So regarding that, I might be giving, I might able to give some particular points there. Generally, I do take calls or receive particular calls from different particular vendors. So I don't go basically starting with directly getting the response or the feedback, whether checking the feedback, whether that particular vendor is proper or not, or whether it is. But when we are discussing that particular training, however, whatever the particular content they are sharing and whatever the promises that they are doing, if I'm comfortable with them, then I start doing a job with them, and basically with the availability of my dates, nothing else.
okay, Rohit, thank you, thank you. I know that Kuldeep is in another session, so he had messaged that he may not be able to speak. So Kuldeep, is it a good time that you would be able to speak, or maybe we can close the session for now? So I guess Kuldeep is still writing. So Kuldeep maybe is in the session.
Vishal, Vinay here.
Yes, Vinay. Yes, Vinay.
Okay, so how are you doing now? Better?
I'm better, better. I have my
Okay,
pack ready right here.
good, good. So actually, see, I also work exclusively for Fastlane. Okay.
So Vinay, just to
Ah,
point out that we are closing the session. Maybe in the next session we can bring that up. Is that
I'll
okay
do that.
with you?
I'll do that. So I had just put couple of requirements. So I just want somebody who is comfortable on those topics to respond me back whenever they find time. Okay.
Okay,
Fine then. Yeah.
thank you.
Okay.
So looks like Vinay is from a vendor community. We can take that separately. Thank you all. Thank you, Pradeep. Thank you, Alpesh. Thank you, Amarjit.
Thank you.
Okay.
Rohit,
Thank you.
Kuldeep,
Thanks,
Samatha.
guys. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you,
and
Thank you.
everybody. Yeah.
Prem.
Yeah.
Everyone,
Hi, Prem.
Vishal, take
Bye.
care.